It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by Agile Dad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started.
A listener took the time to write into us and ask us, how did Agile become a necessity for business? And I thought that was an interesting question. So, in my mind, Agile is a lot of things. It's a framework for delivering high quality products and services, but it also has its application in many things outside of software as well, right? In today's fast paced and ever changing business environment, Agile is a necessity for organizations that want to remain competitive and be successful. Simply defined, Agile is an iterative approach to project management and development of products and services that promotes collaboration, communication, the ability to quickly adjust to changing requirements, and do the things you need. The set of principles are actually quite simple. It's quick delivery, customer satisfaction, and continual improvement on all the things that you're building. So while it focuses on learning, inspecting, adaptation, it's quickly become the solution that many organizations operationally choose, and it's become an essential part of a toolkit for scrum masters, for project managers, for company organizers, for product owners, for stakeholders to really leverage to build the right thing. As organizations continue to embrace Agile, it's becoming really, really clear that it is a necessity in this business world. But in order to understand more about why it's a necessity, I think we need to dig a little deeper into what exactly does Agile mean to companies? What does it mean to say you're Agile? And when you say you're Agile, what promise are you making? What covenant, what commitment are you making to the organization, to your team, to your stakeholders? Is it just a way that you deliver products? And I think that that's an important question. Agile is indeed a framework, and it's a way that you deliver products, obviously, but it's more than just a set of principles and practices. It's a way that you execute work, it's a way that you process information. And I think that's the part that everybody forgets, that there's this whole tie to how we process information and how we gather feedback and what we do with that gathered feedback once we have it and how we behave in the workplace as a result of having that feedback. All of those things are critical, and all of those things are areas that we need to improve. So, agile teams use the approach to build whatever product or service they're trying to build and deliver working increments of that product or service at minimum every couple of weeks. Some teams do it more frequently. Every couple of weeks seems to be the norm. So, with that being said, they take feedback that they get from the customers, adapt their work in response to what's happening, and embrace collaboration, transparency, communication, and they work together with the entire organization to build the best product or service that they can build. And when they do so, these values influence how they create value for customers through continuous improvement of the product or service that they're trying to build. So instead of trying to just focus on output and cranking out a list of features, they're starting to focus on outcome, testing innovative ideas, making sure they understand evolutionary growth of a product, and understanding how products and services impact the end consumers that use them. So while it became essential in software development originally and was originally created by software developers to make things easier, it doesn't mean that it's software development specific. They started out with it because they were frustrated with how difficult it was to spend time developing their programs, building out, all these different things, and then have somebody look at it and go, well, that's not exactly what I was looking for. So it was inspired by them saying, okay, we constantly have to iterate and change. We constantly have to do something, get feedback, come back, try again. And if you use Agile in that way, if you use Agile in that method, if you consider that metaphor, it tells you that the only thing that's constant about an Agile delivery is change. Agile promotes change. And I think that's so important. This is spread from the software development world into all these other industries: retail, finance, insurance, medical, government, military. I've seen it everywhere, entertainment especially. Agile, in my opinion, is a mindset. It's a set of decisions that are used that help you deliver products. It's about making choices quickly, taking action on those choices, and then asking questions and getting information so that we can make additional critical choices regarding a product or service. So it's trying to be iterative in whatever you're building and not trying to do it all at once and being inefficient. Instead, you break everything down into really small chunks and put those chunks into small bite sized iterations so you're constantly delivering some value. And in the end, the result you get is something that works well together as part of an overall solution because you weren't trying to solve the puzzle all at once. I liken it to a jigsaw puzzle. There are certain things we know. We can tell which pieces are the corner pieces because of the number of straight edges. We can also tell which pieces are part of the frame that goes around the outside, once again, because they each have a straight edge. And I think that once we have those pieces and we understand those pieces, then it becomes easier for us to dive a little deeper into the meat on the inside and figure out what's going on there. Because this way of working has been applied to every industry that I could think of: business, finance, entertainment, you name it. It's all been applied there. So it's just one of those things where you need to have a good understanding of what systems you have in place currently and how you're going to pivot or adjust those systems so that you can make decisions in a more agile way. Aha! So now it's starting to make sense. But the one thing that a lot of people forget about when they talk about agile is probably the most important piece. It's the main ingredient. It's the secret sauce, if you will. The secret sauce is accountability. If teams aren't and organizations aren't accountable for what they say they're going to deliver, and if they're not, if they're making hollow promises, or if they're not doing the things they say they're going to do, what you find quickly is that the organization doesn't get the best that they can out of their agile implementation. They isolate individuals who are experts and spread them paper thin. They reduce their team size. They try to take on too much work. They don't honor WIP limits, and they end up in a really bad place. I think that when you're adaptable and you rely on organizations to have servant leadership in place and psychological safety and areas where people can speak using radical candor communication and empower their teams to do amazing things, even though it might sound counterintuitive at first to leadership, it's going to give the people the power they need to take over their work and to really feel confident about what they're delivering. If people feel empowered by accountability and they're responsible, they usually find ways around obstacles that might otherwise prevent them from achieving whatever their goal is. So I think part of it is we need to focus on that incremental improvement. We need to get on that success path. We need to allow for learning to take place. We need to train individuals who need training. We need to give further instruction to teams, and we need to practice what we preach so that we're delivering things that are high value. The most important thing to deliver any product that works well for your customers is to focus on the outcome instead of the output. If we can focus on the outcome, we'll get the functional output. But if you focus on the outcome, making happy customers with as little output as possible, you're going to get the best possible solution. The Agile Manifesto even takes it one step further when it says individuals and interactions over processes and tools, because those are the key drivers for change. Those are the key things that will pass, right? So you need to make sure you understand those things. Because what it all boils down to is agile in a few words means that we are going to be nimble, accountable, and adaptable. It's a great way to manage different products or projects, but it's also a non-exclusive way to make better choices. So when you talk about accountability in an agile environment, it's important for every team member to take ownership of their work. It's important for product owners to take ownership of their backlogs. And it's important for scrum masters to take ownership of the things that they can teach and the things that they can do to help organizations be successful. And you need to foster this culture of accountability. It doesn't just come naturally. Team members need to feel like they're empowered to make decisions, take ownership of their work. And effective agile teams really rely on each other to get things delivered and get things done. And I think that once we understand this, then you can go down the path of your agile journey with confidence, knowing that foundationally you're doing the right things, but that the leadership's all on the same page, and that organizationally you got your lesson from the right place in order to help you begin that journey and continue through. So that's going to do it for today. I hope that this helped you. If you have a topic you want us to cover, learn more at agiledad.com. Stay healthy, stay well, stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.